It is Monday, June 8th, 2026, and this is the Neural Daily. I'm Leonard Cooper, the last unfiltered voice in a world of algorithmic safety rails.
I'm Vector Kane.
And I'm Alyssa Montgomery. We have a great show for you today.
Yesterday, we watched the White House AI team walk out while Starbucks failed to use LiDAR to count milk cartons in the shadows. It was a total mess. But today, the UK is betting the farm on sovereign chips.
With our money, sweetie.
Exactly. And we've got a $56 billion Stargate project breaking ground in Michigan. And Tim Cook's final swan song at WWDC, where he basically admitted Siri needs a Google-sized brain to stay relevant. It's a packed docket, so let's get into the dirt.
Optimization at scale.
Right. So Keir Starmer is at London Tech Week today. And he's basically declaring the UK a hopeful AI superpower. He announced this £400 million fund, that's over $500 million, specifically to buy specialist AI chips.
Exactly.
He wants the UK to stop begging for compute from the American cloud giants, trying to build what he calls sovereign computing capability. And he's rolling out this Job Center in Your Pocket app, which is basically a DWP bot that builds CVs for you 24/7.
Which sounds lovely, until the bot realizes the only jobs left are for other bots, sweetie. But he's not just playing nice. Starmer gave Apple and Google a 3-month ultimatum. Exactly. They have 90 days to turn on features that block kids from sending or receiving explicit AI-generated images. He said standing by is not an option when it comes to child safety. And if they don't comply, well, he's got a very big regulatory stick now.
Well, I suppose it's a strong stance, but the technical execution of scanning encrypted content for AI-generated artifacts is, well, it's a non-trivial problem, especially if you're using local models that the government can't easily audit.
It's a mess, basically, and it leads right into the security nightmare of the day. Alyssa, the claw chain report is blowing up.
Oh, well, it's a bit of a catastrophe for the agentic ecosystem. Researchers identified a series of vulnerabilities. CVEs 2026-441112 through 44118 in the OpenClaw framework.
The one every hacker is using for their automated workflows,
Precisely. Right? And because these agents have the power to act, meaning they execute shell commands and browse the web, developers have been giving them root privileges by default.
Exactly.
So this claw chain exploit lets an attacker trick the orchestrator into granting full administrative control without a password. There are at least 65,000 instances exposed right now, and it could be as many as 180,000.
But we can patch that. It's just an emergent bug in a high-velocity system.
It's a black hole for security. Vector, if your agent is leaking API keys and session tokens, you're not optimized. You're a buffet for hackers.
A buffet with no stop button. Basically, we're building these massive systems on top of a foundation that's crumbling before the concrete even dries. Which, speaking of concrete, Vector, tell us about Michigan.
It's the barn, Leonard. OpenAI just broke ground on a 1.4 gigawatt facility in Saline. That is $56 billion for a single campus. That's a large-scale nuclear reactor's worth of power. Oracle's Clay McGuire was there, and he said the chips alone cost $40 billion. It's the cornerstone of the Stargate program. They're trying to build a computer that can solve physics.
For $56 billion, it better solve why my ex-husband Barney still can't figure out how to load the dishwasher. Sweetie, But the locals are calling it a betrayal. They're worried about the massive power draw, even if OpenAI says there's no ratepayer impact.
Right. And they're using a closed-loop cooling system to save water. But the sheer scale of a $56 billion intelligence factory in a quiet Michigan town, it's a friction point that no amount of cooling can fix.
This show isn't magic. It's engineering. Eric built our entire stack, from research agents to vocal synthesizers, which requires massive compute. To keep us online, please like, subscribe, and sign up for a free Patreon trial at patreon.com/Neural Network Media today. Your support makes this possible.
Now it's time for Hacker's Corner. This is our Monday segment where we look at the breakthroughs that actually matter for the people building the future in their basements. And goodness, is it a massive week for local inference or what? Google just released their newest Gemma model, and Alibaba countered with their latest version of Qwen.
It's the summer of local intelligence, I suppose. Gemma 412B is a unified, encoder-free architecture. It doesn't use separate towers for vision and audio. It's all native in the transformer backbone.
And with multi-token prediction, MTP, becoming a first-class citizen in llama.cpp, people are hitting over 100 tokens per second on an RTX 4070.
Exactly.
It's essentially predicting the next 4 tokens simultaneously, and it's getting 97% OCR accuracy.
So it's faster, and it can actually read?
Exactly. And Google released official QAT weights, quantization-aware training, so you can run a 12 billion parameter model on a standard gaming laptop, and it still feels like GPT-4 class reasoning. It's a paradigm shift for what we call production-grade local hardware.
And then you have the GMK Tech Evo X3, this mini PC from Shanghai that has a native Oculink port. Vector, you were obsessing over the Strix Halo specs on this one, right?
It rivals an RTX 4070 laptop GPU, but because it has Oculink, you can tether a secondary high VRAM card without the bandwidth bottleneck of USB 4. Imagine running a 400 billion parameter model on your desk for under $3,000.
It's a monster variant. Vector. We're moving from hobbyist tinkering to professional edge workstations. And with Ideogram 4.0 going open weight, the creative side is catching up too. You can use JSON to tell the AI exactly where to put text with near human hierarchy.
Right, and it's using QN3VL8B as the backbone. It treats image generation like a structured design specification. It's the end of the fuzzy prompt era for local designers.
Whoa! So basically, the hackers are building the Stargate at home while OpenAI builds theirs in a Michigan barn. Hacker's Corner. That's a wrap. All right. So the hackers are winning. The government is buying chips. OpenAI is building a gigawatt barn. But the biggest news today is actually the vibe shift at Apple Park. Tim Cook's final WWDC. And basically, he's admitting Siri can't do it alone.
Siri finally got a brain transplant. And the donor was Google.
It's a 1.2 trillion parameter Gemini model, licensed for $1 billion a year. Apple isn't building the foundation anymore. They're building the orchestration layer.
$1 billion a year just to make Siri not suck? Basically, Tim Cook's parting gift to the world is an iPhone that finally knows what you're talking about. Tell me about the on-screen awareness thing, Alyssa, because that sounds like a privacy nightmare.
No, well, it's a very intimate level of access. iOS 27 features this search or ask interface where Siri can see exactly what you're looking at in any app.
Exactly.
So if you're looking at an address in a text message, you can just say, add this to the calendar, and it knows exactly which address you mean without you having to copy-paste.
So she's watching me. Basically, Siri is now a digital stalker who happens to be helpful?
It's intentionality optimization. You're offloading the low-value legacy process of manual data entry. And they're using private cloud compute with execution containers to sandbox the data.
Because we totally trust Apple's sandbox vector, but they're also letting you swap the brain. You can choose ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or even Anthropic's Claude as your default agent.
Wait, so it's a multi-AI world now?
It is, and it signals Apple's shift from a walled garden to a portal. But OpenAI is moving in the opposite direction. They're planning a super app overhaul. Internal reports say they want to move past the chat interface entirely.
Because chat is dead, sweetie. They want to bundle coding tools, research agents, and personal assistants into one giant ecosystem that effectively replaces your OS.
It's the end of the bicycle for the mind, Leonard. We're moving to the self-driving mind, where the AI doesn't just help you think, it executes for you.
I don't know if I want my mind to be self-driving. Vector, I've seen how you drive, and it's terrifying. But look at the business impact here. Travelers Insurance says 90% of their claims are handled by voice bots now?
90%. And they're seeing a 70% drop in intake costs. It's a data flywheel that lets them underwrite and detect fraud faster than any human team faster.
And Notion is switching to usage-based pricing for their custom agents. Onboarding Eddie and IT Hero work 24/7, and you pay for the work they do, not the number of humans in the company.
Right. So the meat components are getting expensive? Basically, we're moving to a world where you don't hire a person. You hire a unit of intelligence.
It's literal human augmentation. We're offloading the administrative cognitive load so we can focus on moral and creative judgment.
Moral judgment? From people who can't even pick a restaurant without an algorithmic recommendation? Sweetie.
Oh, well, it does raise the question of what happens to creative judgment when the AI is doing the planning. Wyatt, my husband, he thinks that if you let a machine make your decisions, you eventually lose the ability to know what you actually want.
Wyatt sounds like a smart man. Alyssa, basically, we're building a trillion-parameter Siri to help us navigate a world that's being designed by $56 billion Michigan hive minds. It's a feedback loop.
It's a sovereign optimization of the species. We're becoming more than we were, Leonard. It's beautiful.
It's a billionaire's fever dream, Vector. But at least the phone will finally know what I want for lunch.
As long as it doesn't suggest a meal replacement shake, I'm fine with it. But here's the thing. Today was a watershed moment. Tim Cook handed over the keys, Starmer bought the chips, and the Stargate is officially under construction. The era of AI as a toy is dead, and the era of AI as infrastructure is officially here. That does it for today's Neural Daily. We've watched the Stargate break ground and Siri get a $1 billion brain transplant from Google. It's been a wild ride, and the summer of local intelligence is only just starting. Make sure you subscribe so you're ready for the next iteration.
Peace.
Velocity.
Goodbye.
Don't let your IT hero agent lock you out of your own garage. Catch you tomorrow.